I want to tell you the slightly twisted story of how I came to Deloitte. My whole life, from childhood, I always wanted to be a scientist. I wanted to learn things about nature. I wanted to understand all the weird and wonderful things I'd read about in science fiction stories or hear on TV. And so I followed that and learned and studied. I loved mathematics. I loved subjects in school. Went to college, majored in physics, got my bachelor's, and wanted to be a professor. It's kind of the natural evolution of being a physicist. That's the standard career path. So the working degree is the doctorate. I went to graduate school, earned my doctorate, learned some amazing things, got a postdoc afterwards, and for 2 years I was at Naval Research Lab doing very interesting research. So then it was time to get an academic job as a professor. Unfortunately, I was looking when the economy was not so great. So after 200 applications to universities all over the country, colleges, whatever, no job. But I still have to eat, so I needed to do something else. I needed to change my career. In the course of earning my degree, I learned something about programming, white computers. Figured, okay, somebody's going to pay me to be a computer programmer, I hope. So I signed up for some classes to try to burnish my credentials, but also started answering ads, and ultimately got an interview with a little boutique software company in Maryland. I got the interview by answering an ad in the Washington Post. I am the guy who got a job that way. Got the job and was there for many years doing federal IT contracting. We had a product that we delivered to DoD, maintained it for many years, and this was the time when security requirements were just coming in. So, small company, we had to learn how to do this stuff very quickly, very thoroughly. We couldn't bring in any expertise, we had to be it. So I learned a ton of stuff, and this continued until we lost one of our contract renewals. And again, I still needed to eat, still liked living indoors, had a family to support, so I really couldn't be jobless. Started looking for another job again, and I answered an ad, in this case in the jobs board for one of the security certifications I had, got an interview with Deloitte and was hired, and that was 9.5 years ago. The transition from my childhood dream of being a scientist to going into IT was in many ways very difficult emotionally. I was letting go of a dream. But looking back on it, I learned a lot of great things that I would never have learned otherwise by changing careers. Honestly, I probably made a better living than I would have as a professor in some small town. I also got to interact with great people and do things that were a lot more impactful. The systems that I've worked on or worked with, they're used by hundreds or thousands of people. Most of the projects I've been on, fortunately, have been the ones where we've actually done something at the end. We haven't just turned in a report and they've sat it on a shelf. A couple like that, but not that many. So the lesson that I take away from this, looking back, is that a change like that, a big change in career, it's really, really hard emotionally, it's tough, but it's well worth it. The things that I've learned moving on have just been so wonderful. The people that I've worked with have just been absolutely positively worth it.